"You're outdated. We're done here," he said, sliding the divorce papers across the marble table like a receipt. I looked at his signature, confident, rushed, sloppy. "Understood," I replied. That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. He didn't notice. Men like him never do. They mistake silence for surrender. 3 hours later, while the ink was still drying, he registered his marriage with her. Same city, same day, same arrogance. A celebration without witnesses, except the system, except me. I found out because my phone vibrated once. A quiet alert from a government registry I'd insisted we keep synced years ago, back when we still pretended to share a life. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I poured tea, I sat down, and I began. I married him when ambition still looked like love. We built things together, companies, dinners, routines. His family called me quiet. His sister called me lucky. They never asked why every major contract passed through my desk first, why every offshore entity was registered in trusts I managed, why the family payroll software answered to my credentials. I let them believe what they needed. His sister, my sister-in-law, was the loudest, the golden child, the genius. Officially, she earned $5 billion a year managing the family's investment arm. Unofficially, she answered to a structure I designed during my second year of marriage, after I noticed how often money disappeared and reappeared in her accounts like a magic trick. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I poured tea. I sat down, and I began. I first suspected the affair 6 months earlier, not from lipstick or perfume, from calendar gaps, from meetings that ran long only on Thursdays, from the way he stopped asking my opinion. The mistress was younger, brighter on paper, a consultant with a perfect smile and no understanding of how deep roots can go. I hired a private firm, discreet, efficient. They gave me what I needed: timestamps, photos, contracts, proof. But proof is useless without leverage. So I waited. I moved assets slowly, quietly, into the retirement trust, an old clause his grandfather insisted on, the one everyone forgot about, the one that transferred voting rights if a spouse was dismissed without cause. He thought divorce was dismissal. Legally, he was right. Strategically, he was dead wrong. The night he remarried, I didn't sleep. I worked. At 11:47 p.m., I revoked my sister-in-law's executive access. At 11:49, I froze her discretionary trading authority. At 12:01 a.m., I terminated her contract for gross financial misconduct, attaching a folder I'd been curating for years. She found out at 12:03. My phone lit up. One call, then another, then 20, then 77. I didn't answer. I watched the notifications stack like confessions. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. The agenda was short. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? They looked at him first, confused, then angry, then afraid. He looked at me. I walked in late, on purpose. No raised voice, no theatrics. "I'd like to clarify," I said, placing a folder on the table. "You didn't fire me. You triggered a clause." Silence. "The retirement trust," I continued, "now holds controlling interest. I am the trustee." His sister tried to speak. She couldn't. Her access badge had been deactivated. The mistress wasn't there. She never was when things mattered. He confronted me privately afterward. Rage without strategy, tears without effect. "You destroyed my family," he said. I corrected him. "You outsourced it." I showed him the evidence, the affair, the financial crimes, the shell accounts. I showed him the clause he signed without reading. I showed him the future. He signed the NDA. He always did what documents told him to do. The fallout was swift. His sister's reputation collapsed under audits and subpoenas. $5 billion a year turned into court dates and quiet settlements. His parents stopped calling after the lawyers explained the math. The mistress left within a month. Power is attractive. Consequences aren't. He tried to rebuild. I made sure he couldn't use our name. Now, when I think back to that table, that signature, that moment he thought he'd won, I don't feel anger. I feel clarity. Betrayal doesn't hurt because it's cruel. It hurts because it's careless. I wasn't careless. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't fight. I waited. And when the moment came, I moved everything, money, power, silence, exactly where it belonged. They asked me once, months later, who they thought I was. I smiled. Someone you should have read more carefully.